Shallows, welcome back, people. It's the Critic Corp. I am Toke, and I'm here to give you guys that little spoiler review on the movie called The Holdovers, um, starring Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sisa, and Divine Joy Randolph. Um, so if you guys don't want to get this shit spoiled for you, you know, any type of ruined ending, exposed to you and whatnot in this video right now, because I'm not no I'm not doing no teaser review. This is it. This is it's called a spoiler review for a reason. But yeah, let's get into this shit. So the holdovers is pretty much you know it's about kids getting left on campus at this boarding school, and the teacher ends up having to watch them, you know, over Christmas and New Year's and whatnot. And fucking yeah, it's literally it's in the name itself. It's called the holdovers. That's the definition of that is. Kids are the holdovers. In this movie though, it was a real dramedy, I would say, drama slash comedy type of deal. Um, a little Christmassy in a sense too. The vibes it gave off, especially since it was around Christmas time and whatnot. But so you got Paul Giamatti playing portraying as this history teacher named Paul Hunman. Um, you got fucking Dominic Sisa playing the 17-year-old named Angus Tilly, and then you got Divine Joy Randolph um, playing fucking this like head cook of the cafeteria of the school and whatnot, lunch lady type of deal. Um, that that was like the main cast out of the whole movie. We had other little kids in the beginning, but they all shortly left. Once rich kid's dad came to the aid of the rescue and took like a bucket load of them along with them on a ski trip and shit. So it was left with just Tully and the lunch lady, you know. Um, Now these three individuals, they they all kind of correlated together in a kind of sad way, but it was a lot of happy good feel moments, emotions too, especially like um around like the climax and whatnot of the movie. um but the main direction of this story was loneliness, and um fucking it was pretty, you know given that these three were going to build a unexpected bond, and form a some type of unique uh family over the period of this break and whatnot, and celebrate Christmas in their own unique way. um they they ended up, helping one another understand and come to a realization that, that their past won't behold them, and they, they have the power and the will to change the fate of their future if they choose to, and that's that's what really made this movie. I um I loved every moment of it, and like I said, don't get me wrong, it had its sad moments, like when fucking goddamn uh Tully, because Tully ended up getting left behind unexpectedly out of all the kids that were there. His mom ends up calling him, um, pretty much being a little cunt, excuse my language, and tells him like, she has someone new in her life. Sorry, everything can't go his way. Um, this is just once. We want to celebrate. We want to go on this vacation, this family vacation, just us two, and pretty much celebrate our honeymoon. We never got to celebrate. Just hoeing this 17-year-old, and like to tell him that the day of that he's supposed to leave, that was like some hoe ass shit too, and you you got to see, how much of a fuck given the mom really didn't have when Paul was trying to get a hold of the parents throughout the movie, especially when he was trying to get permission for him to leave with the other kids to go, go on the ski trip and get the hell out of there. And they weren't answering for nothing, you know? So it was like, man, it was just sad. It was sad. Fucking Paul, like I said, he's he doesn't really have a family. His goddamn mother died. He left home. He left his father when he turned 18 or whatever. I guess he was a piece of shit. He ended up getting kicked out of fucking Harvard on some bullshit. Talking about pretty much he copied or plagiarized some thesis from like some kid that was parents were high up, and he pretty much got the short end of the stick on that shit. Just BS. And then Divine, fucking Joy Randolph's character, Mary Lamb, she lost her kid at war, Vietnam War. This and her fucking husband, at an early age too. She lost both her husband and her kid before they could even turn 20 fucking 5. Like, man, ain't that some shit? Like that's pretty fucked up, And like I said, it show how they all try to cope with things throughout the movie. Pretty much the adults use alcohol as their coping mechanism. The kid Tully, he uses the piano. He goes into this church that's on the campus of Barton Academy, which is what the boarding school is called, and he goes in there, and just sits in silence and plays on the piano and shit like that. That's his his sanity, his saneness, But yeah, man, like I said, this movie, they really showed some sad shit to where you had to have sympathy for them, for these characters, especially goddamn Tully, cause his real dad, cause she the mom, she she had the stepdaddy Stanley or whatever, fucking and a new man in her life, and the dad, his real dad, had a mental illness, real bad mental illness, and she just locked him up and sent him away into this fucking psych ward, this little mental institution type of deal, and he never was, heard from again, and she, like I said, she pretty much tried to just start fresh, and Tully really, uh, he really felt like he was a part of that, starting over and getting rid of Burton type of deal. And because he was a troublemaker, his behavior always was like led him to being threatened to get expelled. He was a thief at times, a liar, but he had good grades. He always had good grades. He was a good student, but he just did his behavior was, not of him, and that really drawed him to start to begin to wonder maybe he might end up like his dad and shit, because he's already on meds, Librium, for like depression and all type of shit. To find out Paul's on the same shit too in the midst of the movie is like, damn, these three characters really, they all compare. They really compare. They're all similar in a way. Fucking, and then like I said, there's another sad moment when they get invited to this Christmas party and off campus and whatnot by another teacher, and Mary, breaks down and has a scene. She just misses her son. It's his first year spending Christmas without her baby. It's like, damn, it's crazy, man. It's real crazy. Paul even had a sad moment with Paul, and they showed him, lying to some dude, a former college buddy of his, trying to make it seem like he's doing well when he's really not, But like I said, it had its funny moments too, like when Paul tried to be nice and get in the Christmas spirit and go get this little Christmas tree, and wrap up some so-called presents, which was just some thick-ass butch talking about meditation, and give to Tully and Mary. And mind you, the tree's not even decorated. That shit's fucking plain as hell, dull as hell. It's just funny as fuck, bro. Like he is a just straight plain Joe type of dude. Like he's you can tell he's never like actually celebrated a holiday, or like he had these kids. He had the kid in the beginning. He had the kids fucking doing reading like chapters and going for runs in the morning, all this shit over what's supposed to be called a Christmas break. Like it was wild. It was wild. Goddamn. It was another scene. You see fucking Tully. He's just had it. He's had it with Paul, and he's had it with Paul and his rules, so he just goes like off and try and call, then place this book this hotel so he can get the fuck on from him. He lies to him and tell him he's going to the bathroom and shit. It's funny as hell. Ends up breaking his arm. Ends up like going on a run through the school and fuck around, breaks his arm or dislocates his shoulder and shit. It's just like little funny shit like that. That was like, man, the fucking Mary with her little drunk ass sitting down and telling Paul about her kid, And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I had him in a class one time," and she was like, "Yeah, he did not like you at all." He was like, "Ah, well, he was a smart kid, you know." Like it was just little funny shit, that made you smile throughout the movie instead of fucking crying and whatnot or being just feeling bad for these characters. Um, I love the tone and the setting of the movie as well. It was pretty. It was pretty like 1970 vibes. This movie was placed around 1970s and in New England, and the vibes you can just tell, like the tone and setting of it was very like Christmas like movie. Um, just staged back around that time. Kind of gave me like that one movie, A Christmas Story vibes. Um, I know I fucking loved that movie. That was one of my gems when I was younger. Um, fucking, but yeah, man, like the movie overall had the entire film was shot in um like a vintage 1960s through the 90s style. They even had the old Universal logo, followed by the fucking goddamn uh the Focus feature 1990s or not bad 1960s version, and like that shit was just, it was so fire to me. And like the way they opened up with that shit, because they opened up with those credits like that, and that shit was dope. Had like the 1970s R-rated vintage MPAA card. Like it was dope as fuck. It was dope as fuck. The um the entire film was shot in like real practical locations as well. There were no there were no fucking there were no set sound stages used at all. You know, it was pure. It was pure, clean, very, just original, organic movie in a sense. Like it was real nice and clean and put together. The director did his thing. The writer definitely did his thing, and the characters and their portrayals were, I'm sorry, the actors and their portrayals of the characters they were given were A1, like just matched perfectly. Um, this movie had a sad ending. Obviously, those dramedies generally tend to have one. Um, Tully's parents ends up fucking pulling up to the scene of the screw, and getting getting all worked up because the institution called Judy, which is the mother of Tully, and notified her that he was visited and that he has a snow globe and whatnot that they had to confiscate, which was given to him by his son, Angus, fucking Tully, and he's like, the dad's ranting how he wanted to come home. He's starting to somewhat begin to come back, you know, to reality, but still, not somewhat all there. And she's like pissed about that shit. Like, why the fuck? Why? Why is your teacher taking my kid um to see their father? Like, what? Why is my kid going to see their father? Like, come on now. It's Christmas time too. Like you know, he on the phone when he was begging her to come get him. She promised to take him to Boston, which was where the institution was, and she paused once he said that, and it went quiet for a second. And then that's when she proceeded to like, oh, I got someone new in my life. You need to understand. I know you miss your dad. Like, what? Shit's wild, bro. Shit's wild. But yeah, she wanted to get all mad and um pretty much take Tully out of the school, and he was gonna end up having to go to what's her name? Like a little, I forget what it was called. Like an army school or whatever. That was his next bet. Because he's been through the ringer a couple times with getting expelled. So, um, but Paul, being the guy he was, and the relationship that they fucking, uh, you know, created between each other, he took the blame. He took the blame and ends up getting fired and has to say his goodbyes, to Tully and Mary, and yeah, it was sad. That was a sad little ending, 'Cause Paul don't know. He didn't know where he was gonna go. That was like that was his home. He ain't. He never really left that that boarding school unless it was to go get something to eat or some type of shit. That was his home, and for all them years to go by, and he finally had to leave because of some bullshit parents and whatnot. It was like, hey, fuck it, this this must be a sign. It's time for me to part ways from this fuckery. He even spazzed on her ass too, like why, you know, why are you so angry? Don't you think you should be mad with yourself for leaving your kid unexpectedly and fucking alone on Christmas throughout New Year's and not even fucking being reachable and just, kicking him to the curb pretty much. Like, I'm sorry you want, start a new life and whatnot, but you still have a child you have to tend to. Like, come on now. Make it make sense. But, yeah. There you have it, guys. This movie overall was a 8 out of 10 for me. I loved it. Let me know what you guys think about it when you go check it out this weekend, because it hasn't came out yet. I ended up going catch it at an early premiere at a theater. So, yeah. Support the motherfucking court. And toodles.